Hello and welcome, my name is Parky and today we're playing some more Spore. You meet me back on Moddy Stan. We're going to be doing the house today, mostly because it's going to allow us to build some more vehicles. It's going to increase the vehicle cap. And last time we created the very epic, in my own opinion, completely modest here, Derptopus 5000 or whatever it was called. I can't even remember what it was called, but whatever. Now last time I asked for a lot of suggestions for what you would like me to build in terms of the house, and I've got quite a lot of feedback. There are a few ideas I liked, some that were perhaps a bit too difficult to actually implement in this game. However, I'm going to do my best. So what we're going to go with today is we're going to try and make it look like a sort of futuristic robotic mushroom. Because you know what, why not? Okay, so there's a lot of different housing parts in here which we didn't see on the town hall stage. So we need to have a little look at these. We've got some like smoking fungi, so we can make like a smoking roof. We've also got some other random stuff that we can put around, like a picnic table. Picnic time! Very nice, in case we're just a nice friendly race. We just want to have a picnic with people to make friends. And we've got a lot of other things here that just like stick out of the building, like these knobbles and other pointy things. But what we're going to do is, we're going to try and create our mushroom. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use this as the base. And we're going to make this as big as we possibly can. Because again, I'm going to go along the themes of hopefully making this moderately interesting. And make it look big and imposing. Okay, so this is going to be a fairly simple to begin with build. We're going to have the stalk here, and then we want something that we can put on the top, which might look something like, I suppose we could use this, couldn't we? And we're going to make this really wide on the bottom, if I can. Let's see if we can sort the camera angle out so it looks a bit better. Actually, this looks almost perfect already. However, what we are going to do is we're going to expand this a little bit, so it looks a bit more like this. Oh yeah, it looks like a random flying saucer. You know Men in Black, they have those at the fairground, the sort of saucers that spin around on top of those big poles? If you haven't seen that movie, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. This kind of reminds me of that. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but this is our mushroom. And again, it's a very simple design, but I just, for some reason, I like the look of it. And we're also going to try and make this a bit more interesting by giving it some arms and a big derpy face. Because again, for some reason all the things in this playthrough of the game have really big derpy faces on them that I've given them. So yeah, that's what we're going to go with. And we're going to maybe give it an arm like this, if we can, because this looks like a sort of arm. Okay, so we can stick it out a little bit more like that. What happens if we make it a bit thinner? Like that, yes. I like it. Okay, and then we're going to try and rotate this around again, just to make it, face down slightly like that. Perfect! So now I'm just going to replicate this on the other side, and hopefully this is not going to look completely ridiculous, although it kind of is already. Okay, so there we are, we've got the arms. Perfect! These look incredible. I do apologise if you don't like the style of my building. I'm just trying to do things as randomly as I possibly can, just because it makes the game more interesting. I like the idea of having big robotic mushrooms everywhere. Okay, and I suppose what we could do is just to make this look a bit more like in keeping with the mushroom theme, use a different door. Maybe something like this. It's still got like a futuristic openy bit. Make it a bit smaller at the front as well, just I suppose to make it look a bit more in proportion. We're going to expand these branches out. Look at that, that's really cool. You can make them really small or really big. And this is a bit more of an organic type robotic building. Seems like a good idea to me. Okay, so we probably only want one door at the front. The rest of this building is going to have a lot of lights and also windows on it. The windows I think I'm going to keep, again because it's, it's supposed to be robotic. Maybe it's these portholes this time. That sounds like a good idea to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it 2 robotic eyes. But we're probably not going to use windows to do that part. We could make it look like a snowman by giving it windows up its middle like this. These are the buttons. Oh god, this is terrible. What am I doing? I guess we can give him like some button sort of weird things on the front. Fine. You know what? Don't question it anymore. Okay, so we're going to put a few of these up the back just to give it the impression that there's several layers on here. And we're also going to put a couple of these, maybe a bigger one in the back here. Something like that. Yeah, sure, why not? And also we're going to put a couple of these, maybe just one underneath here. Like that. Again, slightly bigger than the others. These are like the main viewing platforms. Perfect. And then once this is done, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put some more details using the house-specific stuff in here. Because this is where we're going to get the main ideas from. Okay, so we're going to use these as the eyes. Now this is what I was planning on having. We're going to have 2 eyes like that, and we want a big smiley face. Because again, need them smiley faces. Or we can give him like a little shocked face, like this. These eyes are not centered at all, are they? Okay, I think that's a bit more centered. Maybe this one comes over a little bit. I love this as a mouth, so we're going to keep this as the mouth. Maybe we could give him some like surprised eyebrows. Seems like a good idea. Maybe if we do something like this, but rotate it round. Oh my god, this is perfect. Look at that! Oh yeah, okay. Okay then. This is so stupid. But I love it! How could you not love something that looks like this? This is a face that only a mother could love, isn't it? Okay, well there we go. We've got our very sort of shocked looking robotic face, man. Oh dear god. Okay, and then on top of this we're going to put some more details. Maybe we could put... Can we put the smoking fungi on the top? That seems like too perfect, doesn't it? I think we're going to need this on the top if we're going to have like a fungus building. And we could even make this really tall. Sure, you know what? Why not? I have no idea what is happening anymore, but I love it. Look at this. Okay, in terms of other details, I think maybe we should put some other stuff on here. What is this doing? Oh, it brings birds around. I suppose we could have some bird feeders. You know, I'm just going to add some more details around the bottom so it looks interesting. And we've got some like stone walls and other stuff. We've got some window boxing. This is a housing complex after all, so our citizens are going to want some form of comfort on the outside of the building. As much fun as it is living inside a giant robotic mushroom, I think they might appreciate some plant life as well. Okay, so let's rotate all of these around so they fit a bit better. Perfect. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to maybe put a couple of these lamps on the outside of the building just to make it look a bit more finished off. I'm going to put a couple on either side of this door, like this, so people can find their way inside at night, you know, when it's dark. It's difficult to spot this giant monstrosity, but we're going to go with it. So of course we could even put a roof on this, but I think it's probably fine as it is. I don't think we need to mess around with anything that is as perfect looking as this. So we're now going to give it a nice paint job. This was surprisingly quick. I think it's because the main structure itself wasn't too complicated. We're going to go for paint styles and we're going to go for walls and roofs. Now, as I said, this is going to be a robotic structure. So I feel as though maybe we should do something a bit like this. We could also go for that other metal that we found. Can we change the colour of this? Yeah, look, we could go for this. This looks okay. We could, of course, give it some like green to match with the other buildings, but I'm going to use the detailed green instead of actually making the metal green. Could make this just a slightly darker grey to make it look a bit more different. Okay, yeah, let's use the darker grey. And then for the windows and doors, now actually I think I might go for the details first because I want to use this green here. I know on the town hall I used a slightly lighter green, but I think I prefer the darker green, and we're going to go with this. Okay, for the windows and doors we're going to go for a different colour though. I'm thinking maybe we go for like a red? Go for a red, or we could match the theme of our other building and go for purple. I think that looks pretty spectacular, so why don't we go for this? Okay, so what should we call him? This is the main question. Robo Shroom. Robo Shroom. I don't think it needs a number. We know it's pretty like robotic. It's got Robo in the name. That's pretty much as futuristic as it's going to get. Don't breathe in his spores. Oh, did you see what I did there? Spores? Else you might get uncomfortably sexy? Question mark. Okay, whatever. I don't even know what these descriptions are anymore. We're going to accept this. This is our house. Fantastic house. So we're going to put down one of these here. I hope this is quite big. Oh yeah, look at that. Where is he? I feel like we need to rotate him around so he's not facing the town hall. Perfect! Look at this. I mean, if I was another nation looking at this setup, I'd be pretty terrified. So I think we're going to need a couple of these houses. We could also start creating the entertainment and factory complexes, but for now I think I just want to keep it fairly low-key. We're going to put down a single turret though, to defend the ocean side of things, and also it'll give a bit of covering on the land. So we've got a couple of houses down. In fact, actually, I just want to rotate this other house around because there's no need for it to be facing the main building. There we go. Facing outwards. So we've got a nice penis tower in the middle and then some shrooms on either side. So let's buy some more land vehicles and we're going to start trying to put together a force here. An epic force of epic proportions. There's a lot of epicness going on. We need some more houses before we can get any more land vehicles, so I think this is probably enough. I think the people we're going to try and take on next are the orange ones. So let's go over here. Now what their defense is looking like right now, they don't have too many vehicles. It looks like they've pumped a lot of their resources into sea vehicles instead of land vehicles. Okay, so this is a military city. This is something that I want to go for first as well, because then it will allow me to create some military vehicles. And in this stage, I preferably want to take over things rather than buying them. So what we're going to do is we have to propose a trade route first of all, because at this point in the game, we are a trading nation. So we're going to send all of our guys over there just to propose this trade route, and then once this is done, we can propose to buy the city, but we need to wait a little bit before that happens. We can also, to make them a bit more friendly towards us, give them a gift, but I'm not sure if I really want to do that. We can contact them though, and here they are. Wow, look at them. Have they got my old paint? Oh no, I'm still red, aren't I, with the green? Okay, fine. Your civilization perplexes us. What are your intentions? Our people admire your wide tracts of land. Your words show great wisdom. Take care. Well, what a lovely introduction. Okay then. But what we're doing is we're going to wait for them to get over there, propose that trade route. That should give us a little bonus to our income each turn. But aside from that, I think we need to start creating some more either vehicles, and we can't actually build any economic vehicles. We need 4 cities before we can do that. But what we can do is we can create some entertainment and factory buildings. Now I haven't actually got any feedback on the side of entertainment as to what you'd like me to do with that, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Now for this one, I'm wondering whether we can have a floating orb. Does the game actually allow you to have anything that floats? It doesn't look like it does. That's a real shame, because I was thinking we could have like a floating orb, which is like the entertainment complex. That sounds pretty damn cool. Unfortunately it won't let us do it, but we can try our next best thing. I think what we could try and do is, how big can we make these screens? Let's just put down a little block first so I can test this out. Because if we can make them super big, I suppose this is quite big, we can make like a Times Square-esque thing. With lots of like pointy towers with a sort of main central plaza. Okay, yeah, I think this sounds like a good idea. So we're going to have lots of different shaped buildings. And I think we could do these quite easily. I'm concerned about the complexity, so we're going to have to make the buildings slightly not very complex, but we can do that quite easily. So we're going to have one of these buildings here, a bit like this. We're going to make these as tall as we can. Something like this, and we're going to place these buildings on the outside as far as we can as well, just so we've got a bit more room to play with. Okay, so we're going to put this one down here, like this. We're also going to put down one of these ones, because I like the look of these buildings. We're going to make this one a bit smaller, and we're going to give these ones roofs specifically, because I think we need some roofs in this area. And we're going to have a few more buildings scattered around. So let's go for an octo tower over here, the Doc-Ock Tower, as I like to call it. I'm going to put another one of these on top of this, just to make it a bit more of an interesting shape, this building. And we're going to move this one over like this. And we're going to have a few more in here. We're going to have one of these buildings, maybe one of these, yeah. One of these looks good. So we're going to have one of these buildings here like that, and we're going to put a different shaped thing on the top. We're going to put down one of these on the top, and make it as tall as we can. Actually, that was as tall as we could make it. Okay, well maybe if we make this a bit smaller, then we can put a cap on this one. Maybe a smaller one in between. And we just want one more of these, because we don't want too many of these buildings, because we're going to have to decorate all of them eventually. Okay, we're going to go for one of these, because we like the big sort of round ones. Something like this seems good to me. And just make it a bit smaller. Maybe put a big point on the top with some roofs. So let's now play around with this. This one doesn't seem as themed like the others. It's not like a mushroom, and it's not like a big sort of chimney, but I feel as though maybe it will look quite good anyway. So let's go for this, and we'll make it a big pointy bit on the top. Don't question what this looks like. It's not what you're thinking. And for this one, we're going to give it sort of like a Chrysler Tower top. I suppose this is more like the Chrysler Tower, isn't it? My knowledge of American architecture as well is not great, so you're going to have to forgive me if it looks nothing like it. Maybe this is more like it. I have been to New York a couple of times, but yeah, that was quite a few years ago, so maybe I'm speaking completely out of my arse. But we're going to go for this, and for this building here, I'm thinking we maybe just go for a big sort of round top. Something maybe a bit like... oh wow, look at that. Okay, maybe something a bit like this, just poking over the edges slightly. And then on this building, we could go for... why not one of these? It seems like a good idea. So we're going to centre that, make it a bit smaller, make this a bit bigger, and make it stand up slightly more, so it's like the tallest one here. So my idea here is really just to have sort of like a more city-looking feel. So we're going to give all of these a front door, because they're all separate buildings. I'm going to go back to our nice trapdoor fronts, make them really small, something like this. Maybe this one should be a bit bigger, because it is clipping... Oh, I don't know, I don't like that door on there. Maybe we'll just use this door on these ones instead. So maybe this door a bit smaller. Also use this door on this building if it will let us. It's just the rim around the bottom of this one wouldn't let us place down a door. Maybe if we go for one of these other doors it will look a bit better. I don't know, it's looking a bit weird. Well, I guess we don't need this one to have a door necessarily. What we could do is have like a little conjoining sort of walkway here, couldn't we, instead? Let's try that out. Maybe if we just put down a little block like this going in between. Does that look weird? I don't think that looks that weird. Maybe if we lower it down slightly, because it does look a bit odd. Seems like we can only place it up here though, it's very strange. Okay, well, whatever, we'll just leave it there. Hopefully it'll look better once we've coloured it in. To be honest, it doesn't look that bad at all. So that's the main entrance for these two buildings. We're also going to have an entrance on these other two. I feel like we might as well mix the doors up slightly to show maybe a range of different sort of technologies, different alien races that are all living together. That sounds like a cool idea. Let's go for that, and we're also going to put down this sort of trap door on this one here. It's like a military-based door, isn't it? Okay, well, we're going to put this on the flat side of the building like so, and then we're just going to have loads of stuff in the middle. Now for the middle here, I'm feeling as though maybe we want some sort of flat, round central area, maybe like a central building. So if we make this a bit wider on the bottom, we could, I'll tell you what we could do, we could have this as like a telly stand in the middle, as this is an entertainment complex after all. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little block coming up from the middle. We're going to make it really small, really thin as well. So it looks something like this. Okay, we're going to make it a bit taller though. We're going to put a telly coming off of that. Oh yeah, this is looking good. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks really cool actually. I quite like that. Sort of like the central announcement area, pointing out towards the front of the place. Okay, good. So then what else we're going to want to do is we're going to have a load of these signs facing everywhere. We're going to have them just coming off the buildings, just like, you know, adverts, like you'd see in other normal Earth cities. So there we go, got another big one coming off this building. I don't know what that's advertising. New spaceship. Spaceship 5000. Because that's definitely a thing. Okay, and we could put some like smaller telly screens coming down. Maybe just a smaller screen up here. We're also going to put down some of these fancy flashing lights on places. And some of these other things here. We've got like a skylight we can put over there. It's going to flash from side to side. We've got some of these like nice red blobby things that we can put on buildings. Maybe put like a little blob on top of this one to show that, to warn like aircraft not to get too close. We're just going to put down some more of these advertising signposts, because we're going to be viewing this little construction from other sides aside from just the front. So I'm going to put a big one of these on the outside, something like this. Ah yeah, okay. And what we can do also is put down a few more of these strip lights on the outside, just to make it look a bit more interesting. Cool. Because people visiting this area, they're going to want to see like really big lights going off. This is what they've come to see, you know. All of the lights of the town's centre, where all the entertainment is. They've got some other things like a confetti blower we could put in the middle. Let's put down a confetti blower near the screen here. That sounds like a good idea. And a little puffer. Put down a little puffer. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, we've also got a bubble machine. Maybe we should put that in the middle. Does that cover up the central signpost really? That fits so well. I feel like I need to put it in the middle. Okay, so now let's start looking at our windows. We are running out of money a little bit, so we can only put a couple of these windows on here, which is a bit of a pain. I would have liked to put a bit more detail. But we've spent so much on the entertainment details that we've run out of money. But it's cool. We can put down just a couple of windows, maybe just one there. We can also put down one maybe up here. There we go. Because there's enough detail on the rest of this that it looks quite busy anyway. In fact, what we could do... Oh god, that is not what I wanted at all. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put down the window, instead of putting it on this building, on the outside of this one, because there's not much detail on that building in particular. Okay, this looks pretty busy and epic, so now we're going to go for our painting style. Now this, you might think we want to go for the same sort of generic look, but we want to make this look more interesting. Although it's futuristic, we want it to look more like an entertainment complex of sorts. We'll maybe not go for any of the generic looking styles, although this one looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And it's green as well. Well, maybe what we'll do then is we'll keep this, but change up some of the textures in here that are currently there. Okay, that sounds like a good idea. So we're going to go for a nice metal. We can go for a nice grey colour as well. Maybe go for something a bit more like this. Let's see if we can find a more interesting pattern. So once we've done this, although I quite like this one as well, maybe we'll go for a bit of red. The red sort of switches it up slightly. It looks like it's all been thrown together a bit haphazardly, which I quite like in a strange way. So we're going to go for this. It's sort of like thrown together in like a weird sort of post-apocalyptic sort of scenario, landscape. I have no idea what I'm on about. I'm getting far too into this, but I think this seems good. I like it. Looks like a bit of a mismatch between like what our current styles are, but why make everything look the same? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, fine, whatever. Entertain. Oh, Max Complex. Perfect. Entertaino Max Complex. It's like a weird tongue twister. Even the name makes you feel warm and fun inside. Okay, so there's our entertainment complex. I hope you guys like it and it's not completely against what you believe in. But I think it looks cool. It makes the city look like there's a lot more buildings in it. Because as much as I like doing sort of single structures like this, it doesn't make it look like a proper city. Because proper cities don't just have, you know, one massive sort of mushroom complex where 100,000 people live. It's lots of separate individual little buildings. So that seems good to me. So we've got an entertainment complex down. I think this probably seems like we've done enough today. Next time what we're going to do is we're going to start encroaching upon this orange town. Hopefully we'll set up the trade route with them very soon. We can start buying them. And we'll start getting in some more Spore bucks so we can actually afford to buy that city. And then start creating the basis of our military nation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please feel free to leave your support. Oh, they've just accepted the trade route. Look at that. Okay. Well, having said that, that's good news. If you enjoyed the episode, please feel free to leave your support in the comment section below. Also leave ratings and give me suggestions for next time, because I'm going to be creating the industrial area, which sounds like a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, awkward, goodbye. Awkward.